Please welcome the Ministry's Director, Trade Facilitation, to deliver the next presentation, Mr. Neville Alexander.
Good morning, everyone. My presentation focuses on strengthening exports and increasing foreign exchange earnings. In keeping with strategic objective number 3, our target is to generate an additional US $2 billion in non-energy exports by 2027 and $5 billion by 2030. Foreign exchange is the lifeblood for trade and investment. Traditionally, the energy sector has led our exports and forex generation. That has often led to economic unpredictability. What is required is a more diversified economy. Further than that, what is required is a strong non-energy sector. To grow non-energy and attain our export targets, we have adopted a new approach. We have now integrated and streamlined all of our resources within the ministry and within our various implementing agencies. This includes Global Trinidad and Tobago, the Trinidad and Tobago Bureau of Standards, and it also includes the private sector via the Private Sector Organization of Trinidad and Tobago. We have streamlined all these agencies and bodies under one dedicated export leadership team. Led by the ministry, this team develops and implements our export plans with one united goal: to support and resolve issues faster and grow exports and foreign exchange earnings. Attaining these targets are central to what we do and are vitally important to the country. As such, measuring progress and achievements are undertaken on a weekly basis. Ministry project leads and implementing agencies report to the ministry's executive on progress, ensuring focus on attainment of our targets. Now, we know our export and FX targets are ambitious, but we are not working alone in pursuit of these targets. We are collaborating with the private sector closely through the Private Sector Organization of Trinidad and Tobago, who is an important member of our export leadership team. This organization helps in developing and building consensus of the ministry's export growth plans, policies, and initiatives. And through this organization, the ministry is also able to engage directly with many of the companies involved in the rollout of our plans and initiatives. So many may be now asking, well, how are we going to achieve these targets? Well, our targets will be pursued via 12 strategic pathways. I will expand on the first 6 in my presentation, and you will hear more of the remaining 6 by others after me. So pathway number 1, targeting existing non-energy exporters. We have uncovered that the top 50 exporters account for approximately 80% of our non-energy exports on an annual basis. This means targeted support to these firms can significantly increase foreign exchange earnings within a relatively short period. We have therefore prioritized these top 50. We are now working with them individually, with firms and account leaders to assist them to address their export needs, challenges, and targets. More than tailored solutions, our engagement with these companies also identify the main export challenges affecting exporters. These issues have been sorted and prioritized. 3 have emerged. 1, port and border inefficiencies. 2, limited access to commercial space and land. And 3, access to foreign exchange. Improving port efficiency requires interventions from several players. The good news is that we have collaborated with these players and have developed several proposals to address the critical issues. Now, to reduce delays and speed up clearance times, proposals have been developed. First, for a staggered shift system at the Customs and Excise Division to closer align with the working hours of the ports. Proposals have also been developed for the abolishment of the staff quota system that often results in overtime charges, and instead assign sufficient officers during peak periods for container inspections. Also proposed is the establishment of standard operating procedures at the Customs and Excise Division to ensure more consistent application of customs rules and procedures across the entire division. What's more, we have developed proposals for legislative and regulatory amendments to the Port Authority Act for automatic waiver of demurrage fees when port operations negatively impact container movement and clearance. Moreover, it is proposed that the implementation of an authorized economic operator program that pre-approves trusted traders, including manufacturers, for expedited clearance at the port. These proposed reforms are additional to the ministry's ongoing efforts to establish a port community system where stakeholders will submit information once and have it shared across port and airport operators and government agencies seamlessly. This system means, what does it mean? It means less duplication, fewer bottlenecks, faster vessel turnarounds, and lower operational costs. If we are successful in implementing these proposals mentioned before, we have been reliably informed that this could boost exports by as much as 25% annually. Turning towards commercial space and land availability. 52% of our companies surveyed express a need for additional room for warehousing and expansion. 22% of them said they need that space within the next 6 months. Now, several state agencies have already been engaged to identify suitable and available plots for industrial development. More importantly, these agencies have been urged to do more and consider the use of public-private partnerships models to increase the availability of undeveloped spaces. Now, turning to foreign exchange. This is a well-known issue not lost on us. I'm happy to state that at the ministry, our role in addressing this issue is clear. Our role is to grow the country's foreign exchange earnings. The more forex earned is the more that is available for the entire country. Going forward, further engagements will be pursued with the line ministries for adoption of the aforementioned proposals. This is how we attain the US $2 billion in exports. Pathway number 2, improving business competitiveness is key to attaining our export targets. We have completed extensive research on local manufacturers and have identified over 300 products across 18 sectors for support via adjustment of the current applied duty rates. We are reviewing the existing tariff structure to effect those adjustments. Importantly, this list has been shared with the Trinidad and Tobago Bureau of Standards to improve product standards and quality. The aim is to level the playing field to allow companies to better compete. In addition to this, 10 manufacturing sectors with high consumer demand and strong manufacturing and export potential have been identified. These include machinery and equipment, clothing, textiles, and apparel products. The aim is to engage manufacturers to produce new products, products for which we have existing capacity and expertise. By producing new products, our potential for diversification increases, so too our exports and forex earnings. This list will be shared with the private sector organization of Trinidad and Tobago to help unlock those opportunities. This is diversification in action. Pathway number 3, understanding trade agreements to access new markets. For exporters, we have brought new life to the 12 trade agreements and arrangements to which TNT is a signatory. Together, these agreements provide access to markets with more than 1 billion consumers. Our analysis revealed that more can be done. More can be done to exploit these agreements. The ministry, together with the PSOT, has therefore developed an awareness campaign to provide detailed information on each trade agreement to help businesses access new markets and grow their exports. But there is more. Trade document checklists, how-to guides, and legislative and regulatory information, as well as market intelligence information, will be shared with businesses to help market penetration. As international developments unfold over time, the terms and conditions of our trade agreements can become outdated. We have analyzed the performance of our agreements and identified those that require updating. Going forward, the ministry will engage its trading partners to review existing trade agreements. Our objective is to renegotiate new and mutually beneficial terms and conditions. In coming weeks, targeted engagements explaining each agreement and how to access their benefits will be undertaken. This, again, will be done with support from the various business support organizations and the private sector organization of Trinidad and Tobago. And this is how we see we can unlock new markets. Pathway number 4, incentives, awareness, and access. For many years, information on existing incentives available to companies was scattered across various organizations. The ministry has examined these incentives. We have defined them, categorized them, and so that we can make the information easier to access to more people. There are currently 56 incentives available today that support export, investment, and tourism. Information on these incentives have been sorted and verified and are now available on the Ministry's Trade and Business Information portal to companies in need of support. Next on the agenda is further engagements with the private sector organization of Trinidad and Tobago and other government agencies to ensure companies have access to these incentives. Pathway number 5, greater consumption of local goods and services. So I want to speak now to the consumers. Buying more of what we produce locally helps us save foreign exchange. Every dollar spent by a citizen in Trinidad and Tobago on locally made products and services helps develop a company, an industry, a community, and the country. We have launched a national Buy Local, Build Trinbago campaign to showcase our locally made goods and services, giving consumers more choices and a chance to help the country save foreign exchange. The campaign is not simply about patriotism. It's about economic development and giving local producers a fair opportunity to compete and consumers to recognize the quality that exists here at home. Diversification becomes real when local businesses move confidently through the economy. Steady demand gives businesses the confidence to hire more workers and look beyond the domestic market. To be clear, buying local does not mean lowering standards. What we are saying is that our businesses already produce quality goods and services. This campaign seeks to create the conditions for them to be seen, trusted, supported, and scaled. 18 companies so far and organizations have already indicated their commitment to the campaign, with many more to come. Importantly, government will be practicing what it preaches. Prioritization will be given to procuring locally produced goods and services first, where practical and appropriate. In coming months, more elements of this multi-year campaign will be rolled out, including retail signage, outreach events, and the development of a digital catalog showcasing all of our local goods and services. Critically, this initiative, along with many others mentioned before, all have as a key component partnership with the Trinidad and Tobago Bureau of Standards to help manufacturers and service providers develop quality goods on par with international standards. Pathway 6, local business development policy. The ministry has analyzed our forex usage and recognized that there is a significant outflow on foreign goods and services in sectors such as construction, engineering, and energy services. Projects across the country, including construction of hospitals, building roads, interchanges, bridges, etc., all had a heavy concentration of foreign input, which could have otherwise been undertaken by locals. We are reviewing this approach and empowering our local individuals and businesses with the opportunity to provide these goods and services, utilizing local raw materials, labor, and finished goods, all aimed at conserving forex. To achieve this outcome, we are redefining the procurement process at the national level. We are redefining it to prioritize local individuals and businesses over foreign suppliers. And we're doing this without compromising quality, reliability, and durability. This we are aiming to do through the development of a local business development policy. Now, regulatory institutions such as the Trinidad and Tobago Bureau of Standards will be a key partner in this process. Now, this is not to say that we are not collaborating with foreigners, but when international goods and services are required, there must be a process for knowledge transfer to locals to build our capacity here in Trinidad and Tobago. To advance this initiative, the ministry has engaged the Office of the Procurement Regulation for refinement of the policy. prior to its submission to Cabinet for approval. We look forward to our local individuals and businesses building their capacity, building their competitiveness to support this initiative. This will tremendously benefit the private sector. And this initiative, together with our Buy Local, Build Trinbago campaign, is how we save foreign exchange. So, ladies and gentlemen, I would have just detailed our first 6 pathways to attaining our export targets. As I said, in subsequent presentations, further information will be provided on the other 6. So on screen, you would see what those remaining 6 are: investments with export and FX earning potential; 8, improving the ease of doing business; 9, revitalization of assets; 10, development of high FX potential sectors; 11, tourism sector development; and 12, quality of goods, services, and institutions. What is important to note here is that the export and forex growth that we seek will come from many quarters of the economy, and not only from manufacturing. These 6 will also play a vital role in us attaining our export targets. And this is how we view diversification in action. So what have we achieved to date? So based on our engagements, it is projected that we will be able to reach our target of US $2 billion in non-energy exports by 2027. Now, to be clear, this represents an additional $2 billion based on our 2024 baseline exports of US $2.018 billion that we realized back then. So, our non-energy exports projected for 2026, based on a simple average baseline of attaining our 2027 targets, we are saying if we were to be on track for 2026, we should realize exports of US $750 million by the end of the year. Based on our actual exports for the first few months of this year, we are currently ahead of those projections. Now, to understand how these exports projections are comprised, the majority of 49% will be accounted for by the top 50 non-energy goods exporters in Trinidad and Tobago. Next, the services sector will contribute 14% based on the contributions from 8 sectors. This includes business and professional, the fashion, engineering, maritime, and others. 13% of our targets for 2027 would be provided by the other 350 or so exporters that we are tracking. Another 13% is projected from the export competitiveness and new goods and services project, which seeks to adjust the applied tariff rate structure. And finally, 11% is projected to be attained from investments in the iron and steel industry. Now, once closed and operational, this investment is anticipated to earn upwards of $200 million US in exports. This is one of the high export and forex earning potential investments that the ministry has identified. More information on the other investment projects will be provided later today. Now, altogether, these projections place us on target to attain the US $2 billion by 2027. So what's next? To ensure that we remain on track to achieve our export targets, we will continue to engage with existing exporters to address any challenges that may arise to ensure companies remain on track with their own goals. This, again, will be done in collaboration with the private sector organization of Trinidad and Tobago. To help grow the non-energy manufacturing base and aid in the diversification effort, we will collaborate with the private sector organization of Trinidad and Tobago on the manufacture of new products based on the 10 manufacturing sectors with high consumer demand, strong export potential. Information on these incentives, on the incentives available as well to aid businesses, will also be provided. To help save forex usage, consumers will be encouraged to buy local first. Local companies will also be supported from the local business development policy that will prioritize local individuals and businesses. In closing, I reiterate that while the strategy is ambitious, it is achievable. The approach being taken is practical, coordinated, and business-focused. The focus now is on execution. Thank you very much.